Welcome to BAM It with John, Michael, and Mari, covering all things business, accounting, marketing, management, and IT. The place where businesses and entrepreneurs find the forest through the trees.
Hello and welcome to BAM It. I am John Michael Cletus, and as always, I'm with Mari Peterson. I'm Peridot Consulting and
Marketing Outpost.
Mari's our marketing outpost. Today, we are back with our Billisms, and we're joined today with Bill Kelley, as always. Hello, Bill.
Hello. Good morning, folks.
And I love these Billisms. I'm just so excited we're starting these back for the season 2. So what is today's Billism?
Well, the first one we'll talk about is that employees leave leadership, not companies. There's been so many polls done. Why do employees leave companies? Why do they leave without notice? And that is because they're leaving their leadership, that they're not getting from their leadership what they really, really want. It's not just a job. It's what type of leader do I work for? Case in point, leaders need to show appreciation for people. No put downs. Show mutual respect. That is, you command respect by your actions, not your position. Just because you're the boss, if you will, doesn't necessarily give you the tacit approval to not be appreciative to your people. Personal power versus positional power. Again, leaders lean on their positional power, where it's actually personal power that really, really helps leaders drive their leadership agenda. Meaning that personal power, your employee does not want to disappoint you. Where with positional power, you're requiring that person to do it because I'm in charge. I'm your boss. Attentive listening. Remove distractions. If you're really, truly having a meeting with your employee, then make sure that your desk is cleared. Make sure your phone is off. Make sure your computer is not in sight. And focus on the employee. If you can't accomplish that, then you really don't have attentive listening. So it's setting yourself up for success. Right to pass on negatives. Right to pass on negatives as a leader simply means is discipline is to teach. Discipline is to teach. Bring people back to bring them forward. A lot of times, we as leaders, we tend to do a knee jerk, and we tend to jump on the employee for something they've done wrong instead of looking at what have they done right. What can I qualify that they've done right? And in the discipline of life, if you're disciplining even your children, and it's you feel good about it, you're not accomplishing anything. Discipline is to teach. What's the end in mind? What's the end result in mind? So again, employees leave leadership, not companies. Look at how you're leading your people. Lead people to a better place.
I like that because, as we know in business, a lot of companies do the same thing. They sell the same products. They sell the same service. So what is really unique about them are the people.
Amen.
And so...
Or a woman.
So it goes to show that if the leadership itself is not really paying attention to the employees, and yeah, that's why they leave. And like you said, being focused. I don't know how many meetings I've been at like that where they are checking their phones, they're totally distracted, and you're not feeling like you even matter.
Exactly. Are you really truly listening to me? And a lot of those nonverbals, as human beings, we don't embrace that 90% of what we say doesn't come out of our mouth.
And I think that too, that act or that kind of behavior translates to your staff or your employees or your team. And they in turn will copy and mimic that same behavior. Because I see it at a store or at a restaurant. Somebody's over there, you see the staff and they're not paying attention to what the customer needs. They're on their phones. They're talking to each other and they're not focused.
Well said. Well said. You remind me of yesterday. I went into a store to make a purchase, and I felt a negative in that store, a negative energy. And I've frequented that store before. And the negative energy, I'm looking at the owner, and the owner has really had a negative aura about that person. Mm-hmm. And hence it was transferring over to the counter people. And I've dealt with these counter people before, and it was horrific. There was no customer service going on.
Translating? What was it that they were doing?
It was the mundane tasks that were going on. Is they were stocking shelves, they're doing that kind of stuff, but they were more focused on stocking the shelves than dealing with the customers that are coming in to buy the stuff that they're putting on the shelf.
Right.
And it was just an oxymoron. And I'm standing there and I'm watching this all go down, and I'm just shaking my head and I can't believe it. And I even tried to get the person that was serving me to laugh a little bit, and couldn't get them. And I was working it. I was trying to get that person, okay, lighten up a little bit. You're not smiling. You're scaring the hell out of everybody. And it's just that stoic look. And it's like, again, I'm looking over at the manager who's spending more time doing task, and he's hearing me, but he's not picking himself up. He's not grasping. I just walked out shaking my head.
I'm always astounded in the marketing world. I tell people you spend a lot of money on your overhead, on your products, on training people, or even in the design of everything that you did here. And at the end of the day, it comes down to your people. So you have spent all this money, but yet at the end of the day, you didn't train or show leadership to your employees or even in yourself, and it costs you money.
Again, Mari, you're spot on. I mean, you've got such a great grasp for that. And I'll share one more thing on this leadership thing. A lot of people get promoted into leadership positions because they did well at their previous job. In other words, I'm a great salesperson. Well, you know what? You're such a great salesperson. I'm going to make you in charge of the sales department. But they don't help that person become a leader. That person already brings the task. So I'm a great salesman. The however is, take your leadership and take them aside and start with the process of, okay, let's understand how an interview takes place. Okay, let's start with that. Let's understand what a job description looks like. Let's understand conflict management. Big thing. A lot of leaders run away from conflict management. Okay, and it doesn't have to be conflict if you grab it on the front side. Okay, Exactly. It becomes conflict if you let it continue to grow and seed. And again, when that conflict is going on, now we got a cultural problem. And we got a cultural problem is based upon leadership not doing what they need to do. And so hence people leave leaders, not companies.
I love that because that's completely right. You let something become a culture.
Yeah, leadership matters. So I'm going to digress for just a second and talk about Bill for a second. And for those listeners out there, it should be known that Bill, he does coaching, he does business coaching, he has access, or you can access him for efficiency consulting. And what is your email, Bill? It's Bill at
Peridot
Consulting.
Business Consulting.
Yeah, it's Bill at peridotconsultinginc.com. If you guys ever need to contact Bill, he's been such a great mentor and friend to me in my life and career, and he's a great access or friend to have. Anyways, we want to thank you guys for this Billism today, and thanks to the listeners out there, and please feel free to review this episode. And for more information on who we are or what we do, visit www.bammit.com. That's BAMM-IT.com. Thank you.
The hosts and the guests of this podcast make no warranty, guarantee, or representation as to the accuracy or sufficiency of the information featured in this podcast. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only, and any reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own risk. This podcast should not be considered professional advice and is for entertainment purposes. It is not guaranteed that you will find this as entertaining as the hosts find themselves.